Welcome to the Logic and Life Coaching Podcast, Episode 8.
Everyone wants happiness and success, and we know how to get you there. Come listen to the Leadership Society of Arizona as we teach a proven logic to help you simplify life, overcome challenges, and predict the future. You're listening to the Logic and Life Coaching Podcast. Welcome to the Logic and Life Coaching Podcast. My name is Chuck Solanas, and we have a very, very special guest who's joining us on this show today. You know him, you love him, you want some more of him. It's Dr. Jacob Kashiwagi. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very good, Chuck. Always good to be here. Like it's my first time being here, but it's not.
Okay. Yes, it is officially the 8th time you're on the show. So, we're going to get into a hot topic today. It's going to be on politics, which is really a stressful topic for a lot of different people. There's a lot of different tensions with people thinking that their way is the right way, and a lot of divisive opinions that are being thrown about politics. So the presidential election is coming up, and many are worried about the outcome of America, either remaining a capitalist nation or becoming a socialist nation. What do you predict that the outcome of this presidential election is going to be?
Okay, so first I need to let you know my view on politics here, okay? First, I don't really get into politics.
Got it.
But if I was going to be a politician, I think my stance would be, I have no stance. I'm the voice of the people. So whatever the people want, that's what I'm going to do. I have no opinion on it. I think if a politician did that, they would be so much more popular. And I don't know why they don't. They always say, I got an opinion on this, or I want to do this or that. I would say, I don't want to do anything except what the people want. Then they can know that I'm truly going to act in their best interest because I have no opinion. I'm unbiased. And isn't that what the people want in a politician?
I would think so, but I would find it hard if you are a politician to just take in the people's opinion, because you have lobbyist groups, you have different organizations, labor unions that are reaching out to you, giving you a bunch of money to vote one way or vote another way.
Yes.
It's kind of hard to remain unbiased.
That's true. So what I would do is I'd categorize everything and let the people know, look, these are all the people coming at me with their different views and what they want.
Got it.
So the best I can do is take the most of all of that, try to find some sort of what the most of the people want and go for that.
Okay.
But then they can't get me on any of my personal things because I have no personal thing. And if I voted one way in the past, it doesn't mean I'm voting the same way in the future, you know? Because when the people change, I change. But now, in knowing this view of my politics and how I feel about this, and I truly believe that you got to go with the majority of people. That's what democracy is. Am I fearful of the outcome of this next presidential election? Because I know that politicians are bound by the people in general, I'm not very fearful about the outcome. Can I predict what that outcome is going to be? No, I cannot.
Okay.
Because it all seems the same to me.
Right.
You know, well, yes, the Democrats have a view and the Republicans have a view, but yes, they can't do anything too extreme because the other side will be up in arms and all these type of things that happen in our nation, which I think is a good thing. But I can predict a couple of things. So let me give you some of my predictions coming up.
Okay.
Are you ready for this?
I guess so.
Okay. First prediction, that regardless of what the outcome of this election is, first prediction is, people who find out who they are and what their talents are will become more successful in the future.
So this isn't really political. It's more so like if you're in any sort of political environment, if you do this, then you're going to be successful.
True, but that is kind of a political thing because a lot of people are worried about the presidential election because they're fearful of their future and that they'll be able to be successful or do what they want to do.
Mm.
So
Okay.
technically, I predict that regardless of who gets elected, if you become very good at what you do best, that you will be successful, be able to do what you want to do.
Got it.
Okay, that's a good one, right?
Okay.
Okay, yes. Okay, number 2. People who work hard and continue to improve and become better at what they do will become more valuable in the future. It seems to me in our political landscape and what's going on, yes, the government might be providing more support, and yes, it might be unfairly distributing the money it gets to help different factions and groups and whatnot. I don't know, but it could be. A lot of people feel it is. A lot of people fear that the next president will adjust what that division of the wealth is that the government gets and our taxes and how we spend our money, and it won't allow them to be able to become as valuable, successful, impactful in the future. And what I predict is right now, in our country, there is very few people who are really becoming experts at what they do. But if you become an expert at what you do and work hard, that no doubt in the future you are going to be even more valuable. And people will want you to help them and want you to impact them even more.
Okay.
Okay, are you
So
following me here?
expertise is valuable is basically what you're saying, that even in the future that people who are experts at what they'll do, they'll still be valued in whatever political climate.
You got it. Okay, third prediction. The government will continue to be inefficient and will try to grow as much as it can to help the most amount of people. Why do I say this? Because who's going to be more efficient? The large organization or the small organization? And of course, historically, data has shown smaller organizations are more efficient than larger organizations. The government is one of the largest organizations, employing the most amount of people, so of course it's going to continue to be inefficient. Of course, people are always going to have problems with different factions of the government, but I do know that it will keep growing because that's what the government does. Is the government does keep growing. It will try to grow as big as it can. Because
Right.
if you're in an organization, of course you're going to try to grow it as much as you can. So if I'm a government person or a politician, of course I'm going to try to grow my organization as much as I can.
Okay, so what you said is kind of interesting, that you said that smaller organizations are more efficient, but every smaller organization is trying to become larger so they can be more inefficient?
So they can grow larger because people like larger. But not all small organizations are trying to become larger. But most organizations. These are general rules, not like 100% across the board.
Got it. Generally, you find that large organizations want to become larger, and
Very good.
that
Yes.
that way they have more of an impact on more people, they get more money, that sort of thing.
And most large organizations, as they grow in impact or as they grow in their size, they want to give back. They want to help more people. And this is no different than the government. The government's always looking to grow, always looking to help more and more people. And I
Got it.
think they will continue to try to do that in the future. Okay,
Okay.
number 4 prediction. I got more.
All right.
People who are wealthier will continue to become more wealthy. This might not be what people want to hear, but it's the truth. Even now, as you look at the data, the top % of wealthy people in the country are becoming more and more wealthy. The organizations that you see that are very large and very impactful and have a lot of money, they continue to be worth more and more. You take Apple, Amazon, Google, all these Tesla now. All these people, they're continually getting wealthier and wealthier and becoming more valuable. And so I believe that will continue to happen. Okay, the fifth, as we move into the future, the U.S. will continually deal with people and citizens not understanding each other as we move into the future. Lately there's been a lot of unrest because different sections of the population and different races and different just different people coming from different cultures and backgrounds, they've been coming into conflict with each other. I predict that we will continually have to deal with this in the US, mainly because we're so different from each other. And it's hard to get along. It's hard to treat everyone equally, respectably, for most people. And so this is something I believe the country will continually have to deal with, regardless of who's president, that we're continually going to have to strive to be more kind. We're continually going to have to strive to be more understanding, more accepting, and treat people in a more respectable manner, all people. And this is something and things that the country and the U.S. will continually have to deal with because we're so diverse, because there's so many different types of people and culture in our country.
Yeah, and I can definitely see that there's a lot of division and a lot of different outcries for fairness, for equality, for more, I guess, respect for differing opinions. Yeah. And so that's a very difficult thing to accomplish for any sort of president.
And it's tough for everyone to deal with. For everyone to become more kind is not an easy thing, but I think it's a worthy goal. And something I think the U.S. is continually going to struggle with is getting everybody on board to be more accepting of others, even between political parties, right? You see that we have issues between our political parties and issues with which candidate you support. I've seen outbreaks in terms of violence and disrespect and whatnot for someone who likes Trump or someone who likes Biden, or someone who likes this political figure or that. But this is something that I believe we're going to have to, a crisis we're going to have to continually face as we move into the future, regardless of who gets elected.
Yeah. No, and there's a lot of unrest about that as of now. So what do you recommend to the people that maybe of one faction thinks that the other faction is not as great? What do you recommend to them so that they develop more kindness?
I think for each individual, and it's not because everybody like could become more kind. Everybody could become more accepting. So I think this advice would be for everybody, which is practice makes perfect. If you want to overcome the biases and the injustices happening, in our country and anywhere in the world, if you start practicing being kinder to your family, being kinder to the people around you, being more fair to the people around you, listening to them, being more accepting of them, understanding them more, if you practice that in your own family, your own social life, the people that you regularly meet, as you practice that, then as you move out to start now interacting with different political parties or whatever it might be, you'll become better at it and it will be easier for you to do it. So my advice is very simple: practice.
Got it.
If you can't do it for everyone around you, pick one person in your life and try to understand them more, or try to do nice things for them, try to be more kind to them. And I think if you just do little by little, you're going to get there, and then this whole nation will be full of really nice, happy, accepting people.
And find a mentor, of course.
Yes, that was going to be my second thing. Make sure that mentor is really nice.
Yeah, got it. That makes sense. All right. Well, I think that's all we have for today. I appreciate our listeners for listening, our viewers for watching, and for Dr. Jacob coming on once again. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you for listening to the Logic and Life Coaching Podcast. It would be great if you could take a moment to write us a review. For any questions, comments, or topics that you would like to have addressed on the show, email the team at leadaz.org. To learn more about the Leadership Society of Arizona, visit us at leadaz.org.